So we actually built this countertop along with filmed the rest of this video well over a year ago, but we've finally come back around to it and we're really excited to show you what we've made. Why don't you come say hi, Rye?
Hey guys. Man, I love being featured in your videos. So I started with the concrete countertops on the bathroom vanity. They're a smaller project and I just kind of was experimenting and didn't know how they'd turn out, which they turned out amazing. And we were so stoked on it that we decided to do the kitchen the same way. But it's a lot bigger project, so I needed a little muscle. Whoa! Look at the size of those things! You've been working out! So together, we're gonna show you how it's done. You wanna do this? Let's do it!
The first thing we need is a sheet of 3/4 inch melamine to make our forms. Cut out a piece that is the exact size you want your countertop to be. It should fit perfectly snug on all edges, and make sure to include 1 inch for a standard overhang. Next, we need to create the sides of our form. Since the base of the form is exactly the size of our countertop, the sides need to be attached to the outside of the form, not on top of it. And to make our countertop depth 1.5 inches, our sides need to be 2¼ inches wide. Now we need to put our form together by screwing the sides to the base. And don't forget to pre-drill your holes to prevent splitting. Last but not least, we put 2 air nails in each corner to ensure there were no gaps. We need to make sure there's no dust or residue on the form, and the best way to clean it is with paint thinner. You could also use acetone or dish soap.
Work it! Yeah!
We're going to apply caulking to seal the form, but more so to create rounded edges. But before we caulk the seams, we're applying wax so that we can easily peel away the excess caulking.
What we do is just caulk all along the edges and up the sides as well.
Oh, sounds good.
So you know how to caulk?
I've never caulked before in my life. Now we're ready to caulk all the seams, including the corner seams. After you apply the caulking, you need to shape it right away before it gets too sticky or dry. We used a metal ball that was designed to create perfect radius corners simply by running the tool over the silicone. This tool is more commonly used for shaping fondant on cakes, but does the trick for what we need. You can find a link to this tool in the description below. When it's dry, you simply peel up the excess silicone, which can also be used as fake boogers to trick your friends. Now before we start pouring, it's super important that you're working on a perfectly level surface. We used Flat Out Countertop Mix by Butterfield Color mixed with liquid polymer. This countertop mix is glass fiber reinforced, polymer modified, self-consolidating, and holds a compressive strength of 11,000 psi. We chose this over regular concrete because it's much less porous and therefore more stain resistant, and is 3 times stronger, which allows us to pour a thinner slab. To eliminate bubbles and create a more flawless finish, we're going to spray our first 2 coats. To do this, you'll need to sift out the stones and fiberglass from the concrete powder. Now it's time to pour the rest of the form, which you do not need to sift through the mix for this part. Simply mix the Flat Out mix with the liquid polymer until desired consistency is achieved. It should be similar to the consistency of oatmeal. In order to lighten the weight of the slab a little bit, we're going to use a styrofoam spacer that's 3/4 inch thick, so we only need to pour the mix 3/4 inch thick. Use your fingers to agitate and shake the mix to release any air bubbles. Now place your 3/4 inch thick piece of styrofoam in the middle of the mold, leaving about 2 inches around the outside. The styrofoam should be flush with the top of the mold. Next, we're going to screw down the foam to prevent it from floating when we pour the edges. Now pour the edges and agitate it again with your fingers. Be careful not to overfill the form or you'll have to sand it down, which risks damaging the edges. Now for the fun part, demolding. Once the concrete's set, take off the strapping on the top and remove the screws that are holding the mold together, and pry away the melamine piece by piece. There will likely be some imperfections around the edges that need to be sanded down. Leaving the styrofoam in place, smooth out the bottom edges using a diamond cup wheel. You can find a link to most of the products we've used, like this diamond cup wheel, in the description below. Now flip it over and pry off the top for the grand reveal. Your piece is going to have some pinholes and other imperfections, but we're going to fill them in with Sure's excess slurry. First add water to the surface and gently sand with a 200 grit sanding pad. Pour on the slurry and massage into the concrete with your fingers. Then with a trowel, gently remove any excess slurry. Now we're going to polish our piece using 400 to 800 grit polishing pads. You can find a link to the sanding products we used in the description below. We're wet sanding to prevent scratches in the surface and also to eliminate dust. We didn't want much aggregate showing, so we did a very light sand. We also used 400 grit wet sanding pads on the edges and sides or to spot sand. Once you're done sanding and you're happy with your finish, you need to thoroughly clean your surface using just a cloth and water. Once your countertop is completely dry, it's time to seal using 2 coats of Sure's concrete countertop sealer. You can click the link in the description below for full application instructions. Once your second coat dries, you're done.
Make sure you subscribe
And hit that little notification bell.
so you don't miss this guy featured.
Super trendy.
Oh, super trendy, budget friendly ways to decorate your home. Super trendy, budget friendly ways to decorate your home. It's very catchy. I needed some extra muscle. Okay, we're gonna start again. Okay, oh man, I'm so bad.
You're definitely getting worse.
I'm having a huge brain fart. Is it okay? Is it too weird?
It's a bit weird.
Okay. Okay, so I made a concrete She's gotta clean the crumbs off me. Thank you, a little scratch. Chin scratch. Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to Heidi's channel. No?
Make sure you're subscribed to Heidi's channel.
Okay.